Good evening. Welcome to the Columbus City Council, November 2nd, 2020. We will now come to order. In compliance, the Open Meeting Act, Nebraska Revised Statute 84-1407, a current copy of this act is posted in the meeting room. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Bulkley.
Here.
Augustine Schulte. Here. Barr.
Here.
Hemer. Here. Jablonski.
Here.
Kreshaw.
Here.
Lohr.
Here.
Roth.
Here.
Schilling.
Here.
Mayor Bulkley, the roll has been called.
Thank you. Mr. Council President.
Our Father, thank you for the opportunity to serve our fellow citizens. Please give us your wisdom and guidance to make the proper decisions entrusted to this governmental body. May our conduct show respect, honor, and courtesy to each other, as well as to all our citizens. Amen.
Amen. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that her flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. I welcome everyone to tonight's meeting. If at any time during our council meeting anyone in the audience would like to come address the council, we'd ask you please come forward, give your name and address, and try to limit your comments to 5 minutes or less. With that, we'll move forward to the consent agenda.
Item 4, consent agenda. The following items are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a City Council member or citizen so requests, in which event the item will be removed from consent status and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. Item 4A, minutes of the October 19th, 2020 City Council meeting. Item 4B, payroll and bills on file. Mr. Mayor and Council, is there anything you'd like removed from consent?
Mr. Mayor, I move that the items on the consent agenda being routine in nature be approved as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. That'll bring us up to public hearings.
Item 7A, public hearing, second hearing on the application to Nebraska Department of Economic Development for Community Development Block Grant number 16-CD-101 for community development activities.
Anyone here to speak against this public hearing? Anyone here to speak for this public hearing?
I have to read a statement just
Okay, please do.
for the protocol. For 16-CD-101, the City of Columbus was awarded $350,000 in Community Development Block Grant Comprehensive Revitalization Funds for improvements in defined low to moderate income residential neighborhoods, including the continuation of existing purchase, rehabilitation, and resale housing program and infrastructure improvements. As of October 19th, 2020, $193,500 was used for housing purchase, rehab, resale, $11,400 for housing management, $2,100 for lead-based paint, $208,090.05 for street improvements, $11,463 has been expended for general administration of the project, and $1,808.61 for construction management, for a total project cost to date of $843,451.71. The City of Columbus provided $275,000 in matching funds. All activities were conducted within the LMI target area. All CDBG funds will benefit low to moderate income persons in the community. No person will be displaced as a result of this project.
Very good. Again, any comments or discussion?
Move that the public hearing be closed.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to close the public hearing. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay.
Lost the TVs.
Not sure what happened.
There's something's coming. There it goes. It was whatever you plugged in right there, that one. Motion passes.
Item 7B, public hearing, consider authorization of acquisition of real estate in the area of 11th Street between 41st and 45th Avenues to be used for improvement of an existing public street.
Anyone here to speak against this public hearing? Anyone here to speak for this public hearing?
The city has been working with Union Pacific Railroad for the last 6 months. The sale application was actually made in April 15th, to assist IKEA in acquiring the right-of-way that's required for their adjacent residential development. The street right-of-way as it sits today is not wide enough to facilitate widening 11th Street. And we also have water on land that is technically UP's right now. So it's required for the project. The developer had little to no experience with Union Pacific Railroad, and we do. So 6 months to acquire right-of-way or any property from Union Pacific is actually quite speedy. So we offered to help the developer, but 100% of these costs will be reimbursed to the city. They are eligible TIF costs, as you probably read in the memo later on in the resolution. 100% of those costs will be paid to the city within 120 days of the acquisition and be required to be paid to the city before a bond is issued for their project.
UP is not going to work with individuals too well.
It would take,
Yeah. I totally understand.
Mr. Mayor, I move the public hearing be closed.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to close the hearing. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 7B1, resolution number R20-109, authorizing acquisition of real estate to be used for the improvement of existing public street.
Mr. Mayor, I move for the adoption of resolution number R20-109.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt resolution R20-109. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 7B2, resolution number R20-110, approving purchase agreement with Union Pacific Railroad Company in the amount of $63,123 for a portion of land to be used for improvement of existing public street.
Mr. Mayor, I move that resolution number R20-110 be adopted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve resolution R20-110. Any discussion?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Can you give us a breakdown what that $63,000 is?
It's all for acquisition of right-of-way of UP property.
Oh, okay. How much much for land, how much for the attorneys, how much for whatever?
It's all for the land.
That's all land.
Mhm.
So we had no cost in attorneys, we had no cost, your time and effort.
That's not part of the purchase agreement, no.
So is that coming back into the TIF bond?
The time that we put into it, no, I did not include that
Because?
because it's something that I thought the city should do to help facilitate development of the land.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye, those opposed nay. Motion passes. That brings us up to new business.
Item 13A, purchase of 3 vehicles from Nebraska State bid contract in the amount of $39,191 for a vehicle for a total amount of $117,573 for the police department.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the purchase of 3 vehicles from the Nebraska State bid contract be approved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the bids from the Nebraska State bid contract for 3 vehicles. I would just like to say this is part of the state contract, so if anybody would ask, well, why aren't we purchasing local? This is the way.
Already gone through the
It's already gone through that process. This is where the best bang for the buck comes for vehicles and equipment such as this.
Exactly.
Any other discussion or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye, those opposed nay. Motion passes.
Item 13B, appointment of Joyce Schmidt to the Senior Center Advisory Board for a 3-year term.
Mayor, move for the appointment of Joe Schmidt for the Senior Center Advisory Board. Be ratified. Oh, I'm sorry.
With your permission, the mayor wishes to appoint Joy Schmidt to the Senior Center Advisory Board for a 3-year term. Joy Schmidt grew up on a farm in the Petersburg, Elgin area. After graduating from high school, she moved to Columbus. While raising 2 children and working a full-time job, she earned her associate's degree in business at Central Community College and went on to earn a bachelor's degree in business administration from the University of Nebraska-Kearney. Joyce retired from Vichay Dale after approximately 37 years. While at Vichay, she was instrumental in moving the Rep Commissions program to a computer system, which consolidated 6 different Vichay computer systems into one. Ms. Schmidt enjoys genealogy, collecting depression glass, piano babies, and other items. The collecting hobby resulted in a part-time antique business for approximately 20 years, setting up at 4 or 5 weekend antique markets a year. Joyce and her husband Robert have been married for 54 years, have 2 sons and 1 granddaughter. They are members of St. Isidore's Church and belong to Herald Square Dancing Club for 13 years. They're avid Husker fans and have enjoyed extensive travel. Now, Mr.
Okay,
Shaw.
now, I move for the appointment of Joyce Schmidt to the Senior Center Advisory Board. Be ratified.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please vote aye. Those opposed, nay.
Motion passes.
Item 13C, quote from Krush Brothers Incorporated in the amount of $11,600 for preparation and seeding of the safety area for grass runway at the airport.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the quote from Cush Brothers Incorporated for preparation and seeding of safety area for grass runway be accepted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the quote from Cush Brothers for the seeding and preparation of the grass runway. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye, those opposed nay. Motion passes.
Item 13D, quote from Bright Communications in the amount of $48,660.50 to complete installation of e-citations for the police vehicles.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the quote from Bright Communications to complete the installation of e-citations be accepted.
We have a motion and a second to accept the quote from Bright Communications for the installation, completion of the e-citation for police vehicles. Any discussion?
Just one question.
Yes, sir.
Would the, Chief, is this going to put the e-citation in the new vehicles as well?
Like the ones we just bought,
Yep.
you mean?
Charles Shear, Police Chief, Columbus Police Department. I believe it will. Captain Molchik indicated that by purchasing these pieces of equipment, this will round out all of our first-tier and second-tier vehicles, so that all the folks that have the responsibility and the power to issue citations will be able to do that now through these e-citations. So, yes, it will.
Does the e-citation work off of Bluetooth? You know, because I noticed in the specs that all your 3 new ones are equipped with Bluetooth.
Right, they are.
So,
Yes. Yes.
I got a question. CSTs need something like this?
Yes. This is going to give those folks that ability to do so, as well as our animal control officer.
Okay, gotcha.
So anybody that has the ability to issue citations will be able to issue it now out of the car, be e-citation equipped.
Good.
So anybody that thought it's been slow to get citated before, they'll get it quicker now.
I guess so. And just a reminder that this was a mandated program, so that we've been working on this over the last several years. So this should be the last purchase we come to you folks with. We should be equipped now for some time, until it's time to update, obviously, the laptops and software and other types of things. So hopefully that's a few years down the road.
Great.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Chief or anything else regarding this motion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye, those opposed nay. Motion passes.
Item 13E, comments from the mayor and city council members. In compliance with the Open Meetings Act, no discussion may be held on this item.
Comments from council members this evening. Ms. Creamer.
Yeah, over the past few months, there's been a lot of questions, concerns about the UP Railroad blocking the tracks downtown. And most recently, there's been an influx of questions because it's getting worse. Over the past few months, I have talked with Tara in the city about this, and I know that she has relayed this information and our concerns to the railroad with frustrations. And hopefully there's some resolution down the road that we can come up with, because it is getting bad where they're blocking over an hour at a time. And it seems to be lunch hours, evenings, things like that. A lot of the comments have been, let's get the last viaduct done. So, thanks.
I might add, I get a lot of complaints on that too, Troy, so. Yeah.
I think it would be a common complaint we've all heard. Any council member has heard from any of their constituents the concern of UP. I know Tara and other staff have contacted them. I have also contacted them. So it's a common concern. Okay. Other comments from council members? Beth? Oh, I'm sorry.
We already have ordinances. Don't we already have ordinances in place for that blocking of the crossings?
We do have, and we have to be careful here on just what we can discuss as far as more discussion on this, but yes, there are laws.
They're aware of that.
Yeah, there are laws in place, and we just, because of it not being specifically an agenda item, we really can't have much more of a discussion other than saying we're all aware, we have been working toward some resolution, and, you know, obviously the easy thing to say, well, it's UP. Well, you know, we do try to work with them, so. Okay, other comments?
Well, unless you've been unconscious for the last 6 months, you know by now that tomorrow is election day, and your votes can and do make a difference, so please get out and make it count.
That would be all I would have to say. I would echo the need to get out, vote, make your voice heard. With that, we'll move on to resolutions.
Item 14A, resolution number R20-111, setting Monday, December 7th, 2020 from 6 p.m. to 6:45 p.m. when the mayor and council shall sit as the Board of Equalization to equalize and levy special assessments for Street Improvement District Number 178, 3rd Avenue from 8th Street to South 5th Street, and Sewer Extension District Number 46, Lost Creek Parkway from 38th Street to west of 10th Avenue.
Mr. Mayor, I move the resolution number R20-111 be adopted.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adopt Resolution R20-111. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 14A1, Certificate of Costs, Apportionment of Costs, and Preliminary Assessment Schedules for Street Improvement District Number 178 and Sewer Extension District Number 46.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the certificate of costs, apportionment of costs, and preliminary assessment schedules for street improvement district number 176 and sewer extension district number 46 be approved.
That would be Street Improvement District 178, I believe, Brent? Would you?
That's what happens when you don't put your glasses on.
So you'll accept that as a correction to your motion?
Yes.
Do we have a second? We have a motion and a second to accept the certificate of cost and appointment of cost and preliminary assessment schedules for SID 178 and Sewer Extension District 46. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 14B, no. Resolution number R20-112, approving an addendum to the agreement with the School District Number 1 for use of the Aquatic Center.
Mr. Mayor, I move for the resolution number R20-112 be adopted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve Resolution R20-112. Any discussion? I would like to add, this is just the addendum that came to all our facilities, is it not? For the COVID and for the school to include the aquatic center into that, right?
Correct.
Yep, okay. Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 14C, resolution number R20-113, approving the change order number 3 with BD Construction Incorporated in the amount of $64,242.16 for substantial and final construction completion dates for construction of the levee improvements.
Mr. Mayor, I move for the adoption of resolution number R20-113.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt Resolution R20-113. Any discussion? Yes, sir.
Is this for the flood damage, or is this for the original
This is for the completion of the original levee project. This was a piece that had not been able to get done and was finally done. It was
Be done.
Pardon?
Will be done.
And will be done. Lots of good reasons why. I don't know how many are good, but lots of reasons went into it not happening. It's pretty nice to see this finally coming together and getting done.
The first item on the agenda when I sat on the first.
I believe, because I believe it was on the agenda in 2010, was it not?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2010. And
To wrap it up.
so it'd be, and without it being wrapped up, there's some things we haven't been able to move forward with on
Right.
some other levee.
We can't do other
Work
floodway
that- or
work without the
levee
levee being
ideas. Yeah.
certified.
So it's nice to get this on the agenda and move forward to get it approved. Any other discussion? Seeing none, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. With that, we are adjourned. And we will remain adjourned until 7:30, and at 7:30, we are
No, we don't have to.
Wait till 7:30. I published